4 French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. They're 3 wide again. Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across. They're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
Before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy. You know, these are 5-ton machines, 1,200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and a drift is going off. Ben Gregory now, I love it. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening indeed, and welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to the Chaz Draycott Media Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com, also sponsored, of course, by Abruzzi Racewear and Sim Racing Magazine. We're here at the most beautiful racing circuit in the world, in my eyes, the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Of course, in 1997 and 1998, when we've been replicating these Formula 1 seasons, it would have been known as the A1 Ring back then, due to a telecoms company that put a lot of money into refurbishing the circuit and revitalising it. But it's great to be back in its modern form, even though we have still, of course, the old school liveries. Chaz Draycott here in the commentary box with the wonderful Ed May alongside me. Ed, I've been looking forward to this one quite a lot this season because it's going to be an exciting round, I reckon. There's a lot of slipstream to be done, sure, but the corners themselves in that final sector of the lap, they're really not corners that suit this car, are they?
No, they're not, and it's going to be difficult for the drivers to balance it right on the feathered edge of grip. The car's going to be so light and just trying to break away, but it's going to be great, isn't it, just to see what the drivers can do around here. Like you say, plenty of straights as well, though, which will suit the drivers' ability to race one another in the slipstream. But when it comes down to qualifying, one small mistake and you're going to be in for a lot of trouble because, again, the incident limit is... Not the incident limit, the off-tracks around here, sorry, are fairly, shall we say, harsh at some points around here.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very harsh around this circuit. It's going to certainly catch a lot of people out. This is how the championship standings look after 6 rounds of the 10 this season. Another fantastic night for Cam Dance, a maximum point scoring night, while Jake Cranstone got none and did not attend. Was exactly what the New Zealander needed, and he is now very tasty at the front of the championship with 25 points to his name. You get 15 points for a race win as well, so he's certainly got a healthy advantage over the rest of the field there. As long as he goes into the last 2 rounds of the season with a 30-point lead, which he could eke out after this round, then he will be the champion. So he can't win the championship this time round, but he can certainly get close. Pete Harrod's moved up 3 points behind Jake Cranstone. Sam Fitzpatrick looks quite comfy in 4th position as well, but look at that behind him. Hoffman, Stiles, Zemstra, Kragvrolic, Perry and Murphy all separated by just 18 points. And it's obviously, 8 points I should say. And then, of course, with Stuart Clark in there as well, it's only 10 points between those positions. It's remarkable how close it is. Looking at the team's championship as well, though, it's not so close at the top. Williams Mechachrome, after some fantastic double podiums recently, have 127 points. McLaren Mercedes still ahead of Jordan Mugen Honda. But Ferrari and Benetton have been certainly climbing the tree, haven't they, Ed? They've been looking a lot more promising in these last couple of rounds.
Yeah, they've certainly been getting the pace back beneath them. I mean, it can't be getting any worse for Ferrari when you consider how their start to the season went. Their first couple of rounds were absolutely dreadful, to be fair, at Winton and at Interlagos. So it's great to see them back finding that form that put them where they were in pre-qualifying this time in the races. But also, again, great to see this man racing up at the front. He gave Candance a little bit of a run for his money at Silverstone last time up, but just didn't quite have that last little bit of pace. But Jesper Eriksson has been looking very nice indeed, and so has Ben Hoffman actually up there in 2nd place.
Yeah, Benetton 1-2 at the moment as well. Definitely one of the best looking cars in the field, but it's certainly looking quick as well. We've got Pete Harrod currently in 3rd position, and he's ahead of the returning Jake Cranstone. It's great to see Jake back with us once again here in the 6th round of the championship. 7th round of the championship. We're very, very excited to have him here with us. Actually, I've just realised Cam Dance can win the title tonight. Flipping heck. Because, yeah, it's after this one that we've got 2 left, isn't it? Jesus. That's, no, 8, 9 and 10.
No.
Oh, I can't count.
This is the first of the final 4, isn't it?
I can't count, Ed. I can't count.
Dear, Chaz.
It's one of them
We've
days,
all had a
isn't it?
day today. It's the heat. We can put it on the heat.
Cam Dance, though, well, he's going to be looking for a bit more, isn't he? He's certainly looking strong at the moment, up there inside the top 10, but his pace and his capability always comes strong in the race, doesn't it? He knows how to play the game. He knows how to take certain situations into a bigger picture scenario that makes him comfortable. And
I mean, you say that, but I think he's gotten near enough every single pole position this season, or at least been up there on the front row. So you say that he's better in the races, but he's so strong in qualifying as well that it's just the complete package, really.
Yeah, that's very, very true, actually. He's got a bit of everything about him, hasn't he? Ben Chalcraft's going to be hoping to make it round a first lap tonight without being completely destroyed. He had a bit of an off at Silverstone, to say the least, that scared the life out of him and broke the front wing, and then he had another drama later. At the French Grand Prix, he had contact with Stuart Clark, and then obviously that ruined his race. It wasn't Stuart's fault, really. There was just a lot of concertinaing going on near the front of the pack as Cam Dance throws one up the inside. The Saubers actually went quite well at the British Grand Prix last time out. Mike Murphy and Nico Minardi, the two of them both finishing in the order inside the top 10 and getting strong points for the team. Nico's actually just got up into 5th place in this session. Jake Cranstone's just gone 2nd fastest in the McLaren, but this is just practice. We have, of course, got our almost world famous now 1 lap qualifying coming up, which has been so exciting once again. It's really been a great spectacle to watch, and I look forward to another session of it. We've still got about 1 minute and 10 seconds left of this session, as John Roberts has some big damage on his car, unfortunately. And still, Ed, Minardi, the only team not to score, once again coming ridiculously close last time out at Silverstone.
Yeah, I think it was only in the final sort of 3 laps, wasn't it, where we saw John Roberts just drop outside of the points. He was just pushing so hard, and I think was a little mistake, wasn't it? Was it Abbey, I think, just before
Yes.
Bridge?
Yeah, it was.
That's right.
No, sorry, it was just before Luffield. Just before Luffield.
Just before Luffield, that was it, sorry, yeah. And it was just pushing a little bit too hard. You can really feel, I think, you could have felt the weight of the pressure on him because he was going to be getting Minardi's first points. Rob Lundgren as well, like he came very close. I think was it at the Canadian Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, and the French Grand Prix. He ran out of fuel on the last lap
as well. Yeah,
ran out of fuel on the last lap and let Simon Price through to get his points. Martin Kenyon has got some points on the board for Prost as well, which has been good. So yeah, some of the teams a little bit further down the order may not be up there scoring the big points, but there's still some good battles to be had between all of them. We've got Sam Fitzpatrick currently down in 16th place in this session. We're only 17 cars strong this evening, so we're unfortunately missing one of the McLarens, Silas Craig-Vrolic, both of the Ferraris as well, Kevin Zemstra and Tim Perry not here this evening, which is a massive shame. And who else are we missing? We've got one Jordan... Tom Minot is not here either, by the look of it either. So we've got a... Who else is missing though? Surely there's... the other Stewart of Jack Styles, that's the other car. So there's a bunch of them not here this evening, unfortunately. We are 5 cars down, but we, of course, wish all of those drivers the best and hope that whatever they are doing, that it's worth it. Anyway, we now have the session beginning for qualifying, and I think the first car that's going to head out is going to be Monsieur Roberts. John Roberts heading out towards the end of the pit lane. I love the pit lane exit here at the Red Bull Ring. It's very, very tough to get right. You've got to be so careful, and that could be something that really affects the race, actually, Ed, is the fact that these guys could just launch it up that hill and smack into the barriers. You never know, do you?
No, we don't, and that's going to be interesting, because, of course, if you do get damage on the car, even though you're not out on the circuit, you cannot pull back to the pits and give it another go. So that might be something that could catch out the drivers. I was actually commentating on a round at Magny Car, actually, in the Virtual Bell Car Endurance Championship, and drivers were falling foul of the pit exit, and it's one that's quite similar here, actually, at the Red Bull Ring, in terms of drivers pushing a little bit too hard on the exit, because maybe next time we have a look, you can see that it's got like a weird bend to it on the exit, where it sort of curves around to the left, sort of. You can see there, the drivers are very tempted, and they stray on that white line just where the sort of inside edge of the curve is, and that is what seems to get drivers a few penalties here and there. So that might be something that could have an effect in the race.
Great to see some of you in the chat as well. Craig Evans, Matt Draycott and Aaron Smith as well. Good to see you guys. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful evening so far. And thank you for jumping in to enjoy the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. The first laps are underway then, and John Roberts in the Minardi is the first car to break the beam and go on to a fast lap here at the Red Bull Ring. This fantastically beautiful track is a bigger challenge than it looks on a track map. It doesn't look too difficult to get right, but these guys certainly can find it difficult. Looks like Simon Price has been a little bit eager to get out of the pits there, because Rob Lundgren's not gone past the end of the pit lane yet, and he's going to make his way onto the circuit. But I think Simon Price has gone a little bit early. We've got Cam Dance actually doing the call-outs this evening for the cars to go out in qualifying. John Roberts has gone a little bit wide up there at the top of the hill, Ed. I'm not sure he's going to get away with that one there, but we'll have to wait and see.
I think he might be safe. It was borderline there. I just got the tail end of it, but it might be a-okay for now. Just a little bit lacking in the punch out the corner from turn 1, in my opinion. So it might not be a great lap, but it'll certainly be one that'll put him in good stead for the start of the race. As long as he's sort of around about 15th or so, you can push on from there and get into the points playing positions. Yeah, really struggling, John Roberts. Actually, no improvement in the middle sector whatsoever. So it looks to me like we'll be having to rely on Rob Lundgren for Minardi to qualify well and get that Minardi up into the provisional points positions, at least for the grid.
Yeah, straight in.
He must have invalidated it. You had good eyes there, Chaz, and caught it just at the right point.
Well, one good eye, I suppose, but still, thank you. Rob Lundgren carries on his lap, but he's not improved in the middle sector either. So his out lap was actually quicker than the current lap that he's on right now. So let's see whether he can improve in the final sector. He's obviously gone purple at the moment. And no, he's going in as well. So both the Minardis have absolutely stuffed it. That's not a good start to their night, and not a good start to any potential point scores they could get. Simon Price is next up with his teammate Michael Jones out there on circuit, with him Michael jumping in to replace Gilles Gardner for the rest of the season. Michael was actually racing in a Prost earlier this championship as well, so it's great to see that he's versatile. Cars 93 and 64. Simon Price goes purple in the first sector, and I have to say, Ed, every time I see Simon on track and I speak to him, it's just such a positive vibe because he's just getting better and better all the time. I watched his first ever open wheel league race, and the way he's come on since then has been wonderful to see. It's great to see that he's still carrying this progression with him and getting even better and better in such a tricky car like this.
Yeah, I think we were together for that one, weren't we? The Nevo British F4 series.
We were, yeah. Right. Snetterton.
And he's been great to see, hasn't he, to come on strong. He was a little bit shaky at Snetterton, but to see the confidence he's got now, it's been absolutely brilliant. You could have seen at the time that there was a little bit of a rough gem, and he's just been able to polish it down and just been getting better and better as the races go on. No matter, he's not by any means, and I'm sure by his own admission, the quickest driver out there, but he's getting that consistency, and that's something that you can then build on going forwards. You can see currently very hard, and I think that was borderline if that was within the bounds or not. Again on the exit, I think that was a lot tidier that time around. Is he going to make it over the line? We've seen two drivers already full foul of track limits. Are we going to get a time on board? Yes, it is, and it was quite a nice one as well, actually, by Simon Price there. 1:29.847. Michael Jones's teammate is going to be coming through to try and best that, but we touched on it earlier, Chaz, that track limits will be significant, but we're at risk at the moment of having at least 50% of the cars that have crossed the line to have set a valid time.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Jones was 6/10 down in the middle sector, so Simon Price certainly looking like the quicker of the two Tyrrells at the moment, but still, Michael's going to try and get a valid time on the board. He does. It's 1.2 seconds off, but it's still a respectable time of a 1:31.09, and the next car is already starting its lap, but Martin Kenyon's blown his engine. Martin Kenyon has blown the engine on his Prost. Well, it's a Peugeot engine, so it's no surprise, but still, Martin Kenyon has blown up the Peugeot engine somewhere near the end of his lap. That's absolutely devastating for Martin Kenyon. His teammate carries on then. John Tusting goes on to a lap. And he is
that seems a bit on brand for those Prost Peugeots, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And well, like I say, it's a Peugeot. I think Martin Kenyon is actually just going to sit it out as well. Yeah, Toby Ward is the next car to come out onto the circuit. That's horrible, horrible moment for Martin Kenyon. That's 3 cars now that are not going to make it. So, wow, that's actually the most attritional qualifying session as such that we've had so far this season, and we've only had about 5 or 6 cars try to do it yet. So we look now at John Tusting in the Prost, the sole remaining Prost on the circuit, the gorgeous glistening blue machine. They may have been pretty, but they were awful. But John, obviously still recovering from shoulder surgery. Not soldier surgery, I don't know what that is. That's when you get sort of injected with steroids and stuff, isn't it? But he's been still recovering and getting quicker and quicker. He was a real staple of the grid in Season 1 with Minardi, moving into the Prost for this championship this time round. And right now, he's been doing it justice, to be fair, as John. He's got 2 championship points to his name so far this season. And he's flying around the final corner. Oh, there's a bit of a hesitant down change there, just to go down a gear, but he's just got to be so careful in those last couple of corners. It's really easy to push wide, isn't it, Ed? Let's see what he can do.
It's just that put on a lap. He's going to slot himself, just in between Price and Jones. John Tusting up there in second place. It's fairly close, actually. I think if he was a bit more confident coming into those last couple of corners, he would have had it. I think that was just, you could see a little bit of hesitancy, and that was where he lost the time, unfortunately. But still, good to get times on the board. You never know. At the rate that the field's been dropping away, that could be our front row of Price, Tustin and Jones.
That'd be very interesting, wouldn't it? It'd be great to see some of the guys right up there. Here's Toby Ward in that distinct green lid in the gorgeous Stuart Ford. I really do think this car looks fantastic. It's a very simple livery, but I tell you, it works on this car. Toby's a bit hesitant on the exit. The next car following him is another very pretty one, Nico Minardi. I can't believe Nico's that far down in the standings. He's only got 9 points to his name, but considering the amazing run that he's had of form and pace all season, it really does not reflect his true performances, does it? That was gorgeous, wasn't it?
That was really clean coming out of the heaven. You can see that he had a much later turn-in when compared to Toby Ward, and that was just able to get the car straight a lot earlier and get on the power in the same fashion. Now, though, here we go down through the hill. Car compresses down to give you that extra little bit of grip before you power your way up through the right-hander, and then you've got to sort of almost imagine where the corner is. It's difficult to get the vantage points from the cockpit here, and then all of a sudden you can see the corner as you're starting to turn down into it. The car unsettled over the curbs. You could see the hesitancy in the steering inputs and on the throttle as well. But that was a nicer exit, and he's going to take it over the line. Is it going to be enough for the front row? Is it going to be enough? No, it isn't. Only third place, but Nico Minardi, purple sectors galore, and he's pushing hard now. Really nice line. Is he going to get it the same on the exit? Just within the bounds of the circuit, breaking the beam. It's going to be good. Is it going to be by pole position? By how much? Over a second, just over a second. Nico Minardi was really pressing hard there, but that was a lovely lap. The Red Bull car at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, definitely. Sauber on pole position at the moment, and Simon Price maybe over a second off, but like I said, it was a very respectable time. Here comes the Jordan of Ben Chalcraft, another driver that, based on his qualifying position in this order, really isn't being done justice. Same with Jesper Eriksson behind, but Jesper's obviously only joined us halfway through the season. But Ben Chalcraft pushing on in this gorgeous Jordan Mugen Honda. Every time I see this on screen, I really do feel a bit of pride of how good this car looks compared to the real thing. It took hours to do that nose art on the front. I had to do most of it by hand because it wouldn't convert from an image very well. But here we go. Ben Chalcraft at the moment. No purple first sector. He's got Jesper Eriksson also on a lap as well. He's bound to go purple. We know that Jesper's one of the fastest guys in the championship, bringing those big points in for Benetton. Jesper Eriksson trying everything he can as Ben Chalcraft a little bit hesitant by the look of it there, Ed, as he got to the bottom of the hill. But again, I think right now he just needs his confidence to build back up after a couple of shaky starts in the last few rounds. He's just going to take it easy and see where the race can take him, because some of his recovery drives have been great.
Yeah, you just have to be hesitant, though, down through that right hand of the car's always trying to break away from you. And with the tyres nowhere near up to temperature, it's a relatively short outlap, and there's no real chance to work the heat into the tyres to get the grip there. So it is just a case of hesitancy all around and just hoping that the car doesn't fall off the circuit more than anything else, which is not what you want as a driver, but it's what you need to do here in these cars. It's a little bit tricky, but Ben Chalcraft comes over the line, and is that going to be enough? It is for provisionally second place, but I think Jesper Eriksson's going to be able to best that and demote him, maybe even for pole position. That was a lovely shot of the car coming out of the final bend and over the line. Jesper Eriksson goes into pole position by over half a second to Nico Minardi.
Someone needs to tell him that he has to do a full in-lap, though. Right now, Stuart Clark comes around the final corner, and he's going to fly across the line in the gorgeous arrows. Looking very, very tasty indeed. He's been doing a good job so far this season, Stuart, consistently point scoring. He had a very odd second wind at Silverstone, didn't he? Later on in the race, he just came out of nowhere and overtook everybody again. It was great.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Arrows Yamaha drivers, both of them, to be fair, have been great so far this season. They've been able to avoid hitting into each other that we saw at Interlagos. They were in some great positions there, but were battling so hard that I think they forgot that they were teammates at points. But you know me, I absolutely love seeing inter-team battles. It's something I absolutely relish and love to see. It adds a little bit more spice to every little bit of drama that we see out on circuit. Is that Mike Murphy with an invalidation there, another driver that won't be able to set a time. He was pushing just a little bit too hard, I think, into turn 3.
Yeah, he's overdone it completely. And now it is only Stuart Clark out of this duo that's going to be putting a valid lap in if he can keep it tidy around these final sectors. Look at the way the car behaves around here. We'll go on the front right camera, just down the side of the nose, just off the front of the side pod. You'll see the understeer and feel the way that the driver has to commit into here. There's so much commitment required. You can't see the corner, like Ed said before. You've got to really go for it. Careful on the curb. You can run a lot wider than that, actually, but Stuart's taking it nice and easy. Mind the yellow sausage curb. You can just cling to the red and white curb on the inside around the final corner as well and be okay. And Stuart Clark crosses the line, and his lap time is a 1:28.825, and by 600ths, he's slower than Minardi, but he's faster than Ben Chalcraft. A pretty solid lap, I'd say, that by Stuart Clark. Very nicely done.
There's a lot of pace in those arrows, isn't there? Still going strong, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to stay up in third place with some of the heavy hitters that are like to come out onto the circuit. Ben Hoffman is one of them, make no mistake about it. His practice times were blistering, him and Jesper Eriksson. So we're going to see what he can do this time around. Look at this guy in the car into turn 1. A little bit of a wiggle on the exit, he keeps his foot through it, carries the speed out of the corner, which is the all-important part. And then Sam Fitzpatrick teammate to, of course, the one and only Cam Dance, is going to be able to get yet another Williams front row lockout. Let's not forget, it was actually, wasn't it, a Williams front row at Silverstone?
It was, yeah. I think that was one of the first ever front row lockouts we've actually had in Formula 1 as well. There's not been many.
Yeah, I think it was the only other one I can remember was McLaren at the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yes, same season as well, this season. So, yeah, it's only been a couple this recently as well. It just shows the consistency and the pace of some of these teams that we have up front as well. And it just again shows that the pre-season testing we've done is so accurate. I mean, the only driver that hasn't been through the pre-season testing process is Jesper Eriksson. But admittedly, while Benetton had the first 3 rounds of the championship with only 1 driver due to Sam Bentham's commitments elsewhere, it's sort of evened out with the fact that they've got a driver always at the front now, and they've always got Ben Hoffman in there as well. Ben's a consistent point scorer in this series, and for a while actually, after the first few rounds, he was right up there. He's still 5th in the championship now, is Ben. So he's doing a very, very good job. Across the line he goes, still doing a good job here at Red Bull Ring. He's going to go 2nd fastest, 0.4 of a second off his teammate, but it is enough for the front row lockout temporarily for Benetton. What's it going to be like for Sam Fitzpatrick? Can he challenge either of them up there? No, he can't. 6th place for Sam Fitzpatrick. He wasn't that quick in practice, admittedly. So, unfortunately, Sam's just not quite on the pace tonight. I'm not sure if he's not had enough time to practice or what, but he's nearly a second off Jesper Eriksson there, and that's not what any of us expected. Here comes Pete Harrod, though.
There we go.
Handsome
you can
Pete.
see on board now into turn 1. This to the curbs. Oh, and that was really clean through turn 1. A little bit of a wiggle on the exit, but that's just sort of how you have to push the car. But that was a great onboard shot, wasn't it? You can just see the attitude of the car. You chuck it in at more speed than you think the car in the corner can handle, but it just comes out, and you can just see exactly why. Purple through the first sector. Again, late turning into turn 3, and the car, it's a little bit unhappy on the exit, but again, the speed and the momentum is key, and he's got that in spades at the moment.
He really does. We've got Jake Cranstow next up as well. We're nearly at the end of the session, actually, because we've got Pete Harrod, Jake Cranstow, and then Cam Dance. So the 2 Benettons are going to be in a very high position no matter what happens here. We've only got 10 cars with valid times at the moment because Rob Lundgren, John Roberts, Martin Kenyon, and Mike Murphy all failing to set times. So with these 3 just finishing their laps now, it's definitely going to be a good day at the office for a number of our drivers who aren't normally as high up as they are sitting right now. But Pete Harrod looking very smooth and confident on this lap. The body language of his car is normally a lot more lively than this. Pete really knows how to catch a sliding car. He's done a lot of drifting in real life as well. He's a very accomplished driver. But still, even in the sim right now, he's making this look very smooth and tidy. They call him Handsome Pete, and this lap certainly is handsome. It's looking very good. That was really close to the edge. He runs over the AstroTurf, gets back on before the grass. Purple first sector looked good as well. And it's 2nd place still for Pete Harrod, 0.2 of a second off Jesper Eriksson. The middle of Jesper's lap was demon fast, and that's what's given him pole position. And Jake Cranstone goes 3rd. He cannot take Pete Harrod there, so Pete is on the front row temporarily, or provisionally I should say. Jake Cranstone 3rd place at the moment, but we all know what it's time for now, don't we, Ed?
Yep, this man, the most winningest driver in all of Formula 1, reigning champion, and well, with a healthy advantage as well into this, the sort of final stretch of the season, he's the man that everybody is going to be looking to beat. But can he set the unbeatable time here at the death? He's got Jesper Eriksson's blistering 128.2 to try and take. And I mean, it looks like a hefty mountain, and you can see almost as big as the ones in the distance here in Spielberg. But now just guiding the car through the right-hander. Again, it just looks so much more comfortable for Cam compared to everyone else.
Yeah, he really did make that look easy, didn't he? It was very smooth. He knew exactly when the car was going to behave itself, planted his foot, and it was just effortless on the exit. The car didn't bobble around, it didn't wiggle, it didn't seem to sort of go up the revs a little bit and just spin that right rear wheel, that inside wheel, as it went over the crest of the hill. It's looking really tidy. Not purple sector in Sector 1, though, so he's not been quicker than Jesper through there. Jesper was very quick in Sector 2, so if Cam can match him through there, he's done a good job. That was really wide, though, wasn't it? You can see that usual green visor glinting. He had to get out of it there as well. The car had one of its horrible four-wheel slides. I'm not sure this is going to be pole. I think we're going to be looking at maybe 4th place
a
here.
little bit up in the first sector, a little bit down in the second sector, but not by a whole lot. It's all going to come down to this one, and he's pushing hard. This could be close, Chaz. He might just have it, because look at how hard he's pushing. Was that in or was that out? Is he going to be at the front or is he going to be way at the back? We'll have a look and see as he comes over the line. Is it enough for pole position? No, it isn't. By a thin margin there, 1/10 of a second. He was pushing hard, just on the limits of the track. For a moment, we thought that he'd thrown it all away, but no, he's on the front row. And what a tasty lineup that is. Jesper Eriksson and Cam Dance at the front of the field.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic fun once again from the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. We'll have a quick look then at how that session all finished. But yes, Cam Dance only just missing out. But once again, we've got a nice mix of cars up there at the front of the grid, and then once again in the middle as well. Some drivers not performing as well as they would have liked in that session, but still very exciting indeed. Cam's actually going to be the last car around, and he's one of the guys that's in control of said session, so it will need to be advanced in just a moment so we can then have a look at what results we have. Only 20 minutes that session as well, with just a small reduction in cars. So obviously this sort of 2x2 format that we have in the championship, where they go out in pairs with a little bit of a gap, and then the next pair wait till they've gone past before they come out again, and so on. It's really working well actually, isn't it, in this series? And it's obviously cut down the qualifying session times, because while it is exciting, Ed, it did linger quite a lot the first couple of times we did it, didn't it? Especially for us commentators as well. So it's nice to see that now we've got a format that's quick, while also maintaining the excitement of having one-lap showdowns.
Yeah, in fact, it's able to just to make the excitement that little bit more dramatic, because there's less time for us to digest everything that goes on. It's just constant. Just this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. But yeah, like you say, what an attritional qualifying session that was. There's a driver, I think that was that Simon Price there, just having a bit of a encounter with the barriers.
It was indeed. But look at that there, the top 9 separated by less than a second as well. It's very, very close. I mean, the whole field is separated technically by 2.8 seconds, and then 4 drivers with no time. But it's Jesper Eriksson who will take pole position and a championship point here at the Austrian Bor Prix. Cam Dance will join him on the front row, and then it's very close between Pete Harrod and Jake Cranstone. Ben Hoffman up there in 5th, a great qualifying for Ben. And then Nico Minardi, obviously it's his home race here for Nico. He's up there in 6th position. Stuart Clark is 7th with Ben Chalcraft next up. Then it's Sam Fitzpatrick down in 9th. Look for him coming through the order in the early stages. Simon Price qualifies 10th, the top 10 for Simon, with John Tusting and Toby Ward on row 6. Then it's Michael Jones, and then the drivers that didn't set a time, which I think may be slightly reordered based on their I rating when it comes to the actual grid. But it's John Roberts, Mike Murphy, Rob Lundgren and Martin Kenyon. But yes, a home race for Nico Minardi. It's not something I actually thought about, to be fair, so maybe a bit of home advantage to come his way, Ed.
Yeah, well, have a look. He's getting the practice starts nailed down, which has been something that he has struggled with previously. So it's good to see him getting that practice in. You can see the car stopping and starting again on the right-hand side of the circuit. And it's going to be key, isn't it? When you're up inside sort of the top 6-7 positions, it's all about getting the car started cleanly, trying to minimise wheel spin, actually getting the car to have the bite off the line. You can see there's a nice decent run there. And Nico Minardi, I think he's happy with that one. He's going to carry on now with the remainder of the lap, getting some last minute practice in. Yeah, like you say, he's on home soil and he's been looking quite good. He's been, performing brilliantly all season long, but this could be a time to really grab the mother load of points for Sauber, and also, just get himself to the point where he's actually qualifying a little bit later on in the session, which I'm sure I'd be able to appreciate, because when you go early on, not only is it a little bit stressful, but then you have no real benchmark times to properly chase.
Yeah, definitely, and the circuit sometimes is a little bit better later on in the session. The conditions can get slightly cooler as well as it gets a little bit later in the day. There's so many elements to all of this, and obviously it's one of the wonderful things we love about iRacing is that it simulates it in such detail. What we're going to do though, oh, there's Mike Murphy. He's not having a great evening so far, is Mike. We're going to leave the cameras to do what they want to do. We're going to be looking at the drivers willy-nilly. It might be flicking around a bit, but if you give us about 5 minutes, Ed and I will just take a quick break here on Chaz Draycott Media, and we'll be right back with you for round 7 of the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. Sorry, Nico. It's going to be about 5 minutes time. We'll be right with you.
Ooh, nice.
Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott and Ed May here for the Austrian Boar Prix here on Chaz Draycott Media. It's fantastic to be at this wonderful, wonderful circuit, and welcome everybody that is joining us tonight, whether you be on YouTube or whether you be on Facebook. We're not streaming to Twitch this evening. We did think, or I did think last time, that basically the issue with the Twitch stream dying halfway through and going to a black screen was down to something called simulcasting, where you're streaming to multiple platforms at once, basically YouTube, Facebook and Twitch. As per Twitch's affiliate program, you aren't allowed to stream to Twitch and then something else on top of that, so you should only be streaming to one or the other, basically. And it turns out that it's not all down to that. I tried to do another stream the same evening, actually, and based on the high bitrate that I was putting out due to my shiny new fibre connection, it's actually too high for what Twitch manages. So the videos are all just black and just still with audio, but when you watch it back afterwards, the video is absolutely fine. I had it happen twice last week, which is very, very strange. So we're still trying to figure that out, and obviously I don't want to take any risks and upset Twitch, or of course have a stream that's just a black screen with audio for everyone to complain about. So we're not streaming to Twitch for Boremula 1 for the foreseeable, unfortunately, but I'd rather keep it all in one place, and all of you lovely lot on YouTube are beautiful to see. So welcome everyone, and with only just a couple of seconds left of warm-up here, Ed, I tell you what, I'm excited to see what some of these guys near the front of the pack are going to do, and of course what Sam Fitzpatrick's going to do coming through from the back.
Yeah, that's going to be one to watch, isn't it? The Sam Fitzpatrick story, and see what he can do, because he didn't have the best of qualifying at all. So we'll hopefully see him come up through the order. But again, wonder what's going to happen to all of those drivers that weren't able to get times in as well. What we're going to see from them, the two Minardi starting way at the back there, and they're going to be needing to get a bit of a shift on if they want to score points.
Yes, indeed. So it's Jesper Eriksson and Cam Dance on the front row, Pete Harrod and Jake Cranstone on row 2. Then it's Ben Hoffman and Nico Minardi is home race on row 3. Stuart Clark is 7th with Ben Chalcraft alongside him. Sorry, Ben. Sam Fitzpatrick 9th with Simon Price joining him on row 5. Then we have John Tusting and Toby Ward next up. And then on the 7th row, it's Michael Jones and John Roberts. Mike Murphy and Rob Lundgren next up, with Martin Kenyon starting at the back of the pack. And as you see, it is the Benetton of Jesper Eriksson on pole. What a fantastic looking grid we have there. Unfortunately, no Ferraris. We're a McLaren down as well. Otherwise, it would look very spot on. But still, it's a good mix of cars near the front like you would have seen in 1998. It was a bit of a topsy-turvy season at certain points, with many cars that you wouldn't have expected off the bat to lead a Grand Prix right up there at the sharp end. But Jesper Eriksson's certainly been a man to watch. Cam Dance there alongside him on the front row of the grid is certainly one to watch as well. But as the lights come on, it's going to be round 7 in Season 2 of the Chaz Draycott Media Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com, and we're underway in Austria, and it's a poor start by Jesper Eriksson. Cam Dance and Pete Harrod absolutely mug him off the line. Jesper's gone completely backwards. His teammate has to check up, and look at that down the inside by Nico Minardi. Nearly makes it 3 wide. There's contact with Jesper Eriksson and Ben Chalcraft, so he again doesn't make it through first lap without contact, but Ben's gained 4 places, Ed, from 8th to 4th. A clean start by everybody else.
That was, I think, 4 wide into the first corner there for a moment. Nico Minardi trying to sneak his way up the inside. Has to be careful going now in towards turn 3. Late on the brakes goes Ben Chalcraft to secure 4th position. Lovely start there by the Jordan, who just went off like a rocket at the start there. Brilliant getaway. Jesper Eriksson's got a little bit of front wing damage there, but is also getting very close to the rear crash structure of Ben Chalcraft. Now up the inside, down through the right hand of the car trying to break away.
Oh,
and
no.
My word, what a dive on Nico Minardi. Has he overcooked it, or was there contact there with Pete Harrod?
Well, that is Sam Fitzpatrick up 4 places already. Ben Chalcraft up 4 places already as well. But yet Pete Harrod off and around. Hopefully no contact. I don't think there was. No, he's just overdone it, hasn't he? Oh, just on the change down. Car goes around on him, and that is it. And Jake Cranstone's actually taken the lead through that as well, Ed. So the McLaren leads from 4th on the grid. And look at all this behind kicking off here. This is behind Ben Chalcraft, Sam Fitzpatrick, Nico Minardi, and then Ben Hoffman down the inside. The German trying to make room, or trying to take up some room. Behind them, you've got Stuart Clark. Toby Ward's had a good start, and Martin Kenyon's gained 6 places from the back of the grid, and he's into the points.
Good start there by Martin Kenyon. You know, he's got good pace about him, and he's certainly showing that here up into 11th place, like you say, up 6 places so far. But there's been some big moves out there. Ben Chalcraft's start, I mean, that was blisteringly quick. Sam Fitzpatrick as well to get up 4 places. No small feat in the opening lap around here, but put the car in the right position to take advantage of a little bit of chaos and uncertainty from some of the drivers ahead. Excellent start. Nico Minardi's stayed where he qualified, up in 6th place as Martin Kenyon. Cheeky little dive on his teammate John Tusting.
Great battles all the way up and down. It's certainly looking good so far in the Austrian Grand Prix. But yes, there's been some wonderful battling going on. As we saw there, though, with John Tusting around the outside, with his teammate coming down the inside, it was actually better to be on the outside line because you've got a bit more room to get on the throttle early and get the run. But Martin Kenyon completes the move, and that is from 17th up to 10th in a lap and a half. What a fantastic run this is. Mike Murphy's not having a great race so far, as there's Pete Harrod making some recuperation manoeuvres. Just a little spin for him. And Jesper Eriksson's just gone past Cam Dance. Cam's going slowly. Cam's had an issue there. And now he's dropping more and more places.
He picked up a slowdown or something.
Yeah, there's loads of them going past.
Not sure what's going on there. It's going to slot in, I think, just in front of Nico Minardi.
Is he?
It's going to be tight. And yeah, just about. Nico Minardi also has to step on the brakes to avoid contact with the rear end of the Williams Mechachrome car. But now we go back on board with Ben Hoffman, who had a good qualifying session, but not a great start to the race. In fact, both of the Benetons didn't really get away well, but already Jesper Eriksson's back up into 2nd place.
Look at Nico Minardi. Look at the run. He got a fantastic run. Cam Dance had to get out of it because Ben Chalcraft made a mistake. Nico, oh, come on, Nico. You can't do that, mate. He's trying to find any way around him that he can.
Yeah, just slightly squeezed, I think, but now he's going to dive up the inside. Look how late he's able to cut the brakes. A light lockup, but he's got it done. Brilliant move.
Out of all people to hit the back of Ben Chalcraft, it's Stuart Clark again. These two need to get a room and just sort it out, honestly. I'll pay for it, boys.
This is going to be difficult now for Stuart Clark, though, down through the next corners, which are all heavy on the rear end. And look, he's actually got suspension damage by the look of things, so he's going to be having to take a trip to the pit lane. It's not all over, though, because of course, if you have to take your fast repair earlier, before the, is it 10th lap here?
Yeah.
You are able to go on until the end of the race. So I think we could still be seeing that Jordan Rudin Honda up in the high point scoring positions later on. Ben Chalcraft now just letting his teammate by. He's nursing it back in. Very well done. Needs to get over to the right hand side of the circuit quickly though to make a trip to the pits. So Simon Price has overcooked it just a little bit through the left-hander.
Yeah, his teammate's just coming up on him now as well to go past Michael Jones, so the Tyrrell's not having the best time. Stuart Clark's got a meatball flag as well, and he's on his way into the pits. I think him and Toby Ward had a front wing between them. That means now that Martin Kenyon's gained 9 places ahead, and he's up into 8th position. What a fantastic start to the race. Pete Harrod's on his recovery drive in the midfield as well. This is certainly an already very exciting race, but Ben Chalcraft, he's not going to catch a break this season, is he? I am honestly so devastated for him. Let's see what his start looks like.
Let's have a look here. With all the dramas, though, that does put Minardi into the points with John Roberts in 12th. So we'll have a look on board with Ben Chalcraft, and look at the getaway. Brilliant start. And then he sees a gap, and he decides to make it 4 wide in towards turn 1.
Ben!
Took a brave pill.
And he still made the corner and all.
Still made the corner. Slowed down the exit as well. Almost sort of roadblocked them all. And then again, he's in the middle of a 3-wide battle. See from Sam Fitzpatrick's point of view.
Can I just point out that Sam Fitzpatrick, as of the moment we're looking at this replay, is up to 3rd from 9th.
Wow. So
I think this is
the best of starts.
All on the exit.
Times it brilliantly, doesn't it? Let's see. Diving up the inside, a little bit of a 3-wide moment before slotting in, and then just sees all the other cars struggling away. It's not all on the exit. I think it's probably in towards turn 3.
Yeah, he's not got anyone chasing him down here, but I think he's just going to mug them all on the exit watch. Although he's actually going to go down the inside on the way in, so maybe it's just a bit of...
Watch for Ben Chalcraft as well, getting those 2 positions done.
It was just
the car.
Bit by bit, wasn't it?
Power down a bit there. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic by Sam Fitzpatrick. Fantastic by Martin Kenyon. He's again having a really good race so far. Toby Ward has gone from 12th up to 7th place in the Stewart, but he's got wing damage, so some of the guys around him will be quicker. Pete Harrod's going to be making his way back up the order. He'll be upset with what happened earlier, just that spin from the lead. Is he going to go for this? No, he's going to let these 2 battle in front of him, then take advantage on the exit. Is he? Nearly. They come to a stop almost. He cuts over the nose of Toby Ward to get in the slipstream of Martin Kenyon, but that's Martin's 10th place gained. in this race. What a fantastic storm up the order he's having. I love watching this. And again, Martin, he started out racing on the ovals. That's where I first commentated on Martin. And he's got quicker and quicker in open wheel cars and road cars, and he's always getting better. It's another fairy tale story of a driver that took his first steps in open wheelers in this championship and then in the CDM Formula Renault 3.5 championship. And now he's become a real staple of the grid and getting faster and faster. This is still side by side as well, though, isn't it, Ed, between Pete Harrod and Toby Ward? Great racing.
Yeah, this is brilliant to watch. I've just been looking at the timing screens and seeing that Cam Dance is outside a slipstream range of Sam Fitzpatrick. And I'm not sure if Cam Dance has got damage or an issue, but he's not quite at the same level of pace that I've been expecting from him. So could be one to watch and see how the race progresses. Maybe if he just needs to sort of dust himself down after a disappointing start and get back up on pace. But at the moment, Cam Dance seems to be struggling. Here we go, though. Mike Murphy for Sauber, looking up the inside of the Prospersia of John Tusting. He has a look to the inside, but look at that. John Tusting says, not on your life, sunshine. And now John Roberts is going to take advantage. Go on in the Minardi.
He's been double-teamed by the only John's pairing of John Tusting and John Roberts. He's been absolutely done in there, unfortunately, as Mike. But good awareness to at least get out of it, though. It was very sensible driving by him, as there's not some sensible driving going on in front. Someone has a lock-up. There's a very close battle between Cam Dance, and he's under pressure from Ben Hoffman here. And no disrespect to Ben, but we don't normally see Cam under pressure from Ben. I'm wondering, you know, if there was a tiny touch between him and Pete Harrod before that he can see at his end that we cannot see at our end, damage-wise. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what happened. Did he get floor damage as well? Because we saw him coming very slow. Did he have a moment somewhere on the second lap? There's, oh dear, the Jordans are not having a good time whatsoever. Pete Harrod now with issues. Ben Chalcroft, like we said, has already taken his pit stop and is way, way down the order. It was just trying to go around the outside of the...
Oh no.
Oh my word. What was that?
Oh, Toby Ward had a blink in and out. His connection... So Toby's connection went, his car disappears, and then all of a sudden when it reappears, it just smacks Pete off the road. Look.
I've not seen anything that bad.
No, I've never seen anything from that sort of distance, especially when the car just reappears. Because normally with iRacing, the way that it manages it is really clever, because obviously the car disappears.
Oh, another trip to the pits for the Jordans. Pete Harrod this time.
Eddie Jordan's going to be spitting at them to tell them not to come back. Cam Dance, though, holding on. Nico Minardi going strong in his home Boar Prix. Him and Ben Hoffman, where they both started on the grid, like you said before, Ed. The third row holding firm at this moment in time. So the Red Bull sponsored car at the Red Bull Ring going well, but the battle for the lead is on now. Jake Cranstone is only 4 tenths ahead of Jesper Eriksson, and we've not really seen these two fight since the French Boar Prix, because obviously Jake wasn't here last time, and we know how that ended up.
Yeah, we'll be hoping for a slightly cleaner battling between the pair of them. But Jake Cranston, well, he didn't have the best qualifying performance. In the races, he does seem to get a little bit more punchy and a little bit quicker, so we'll see how it progresses on. Obviously seems to be more at home with the car when its tyres are fully warmed up, as opposed to someone like Jesper Eriksson who can turn it on and just go and deal with the car sliding around. I mean, we've had a few times to talk to... actually, no, we've only had a chance to talk to him once, haven't we? Because we didn't get to chat to him at the French Boar Prix. But he loves this car. He really does like how sort of twitchy and loose it is, how much you have to balance it finally. And he's right at home in the tricky situation of qualifying, where a lot of drivers just seem to struggle a bit, even though they've got good pace.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of wrangling it, isn't he? There's been a move a bit further down. Nico Minardi has got into the top 5 here at his home race, ahead of Ben Hoffman, who I think had a slowdown penalty for that incursion across the curbs. He did indeed. So Nico gets through nice and tidy, and his teammate's having a bit of an interesting run as well at the moment. He's chasing down John Roberts at this moment in time, or he would be if our cameras would go back to it. There we go. Mike Murphy now trying to pick off at least one of the Johns that overtook him a lap or so ago. And the Sauber goes nice and tidy down the inside of the Minardi. Doesn't quite get the run on the exit, though. That was very close, wasn't it? And now they're going to be stuck together down the hill towards... Is it Rindt? Jochen Rindt? No, it's Schlosskold at the bottom. Look at that. They're under braking, just having to compromise.
Bit of flame as well.
There's a flame.
Oh, yeah, this is...
it's on fire.
Getting spicy. Oh, here we go. Through the left-hander, Nico Minardi able to fend off Ben Hoffman, but this is giving more and more space and time and breathing room
for
Cam Dance to work with. Now look at this, up the inside. Is Ben Hoffman going to get the move done? I think Nico Minardi smartly lets him have it more than anything else.
Yeah, I think anyone would have in that situation. Ben was not going to back out of that, but look how much this battling has opened up the gap now to Cam Dance ahead of them. Cam's just disappeared off up the road. He's 1.5 seconds
But look at
clear.
the gap from Cam Dance to Sam Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, indeed. 2.9 seconds, now 3 seconds on the exit. Cam's certainly not at his best right now, and I mean, Sam's doing fantastically. He started 9th on the grid. Jake Cranstone started 4th. Jesper Eriksson started on pole. Don't forget, he had a horrible start, but these two around him have had a great start to their race, and Sam's only catching up to these more and more every lap.
Yeah, I've got a feeling, you know, that Cam Dance must have some sort of floor damage or something, and he's going to be taking that fast repair. As soon as he gets to lap 10, he's coming straight in. You can imagine. I mean, the rear end looks fine. I can't see any damage, but obviously he must not feel something right in that car because he's not as quick as he once was.
So this is what happened. This is when he lost these places. What was that all about? I'm not a clue what that was. We'll go on board and see. Was it something hardware related? Could he have lost feedback or something?
I mean, if he's driving without force feedback, I'm amazed that he's got the pace that he has.
That was weird. It's like it slammed on the brakes and went in a straight line. That was really strange, wasn't it? Well, I'm sure we'll find out when he wins the race and tells us in the interview. But still, the man that is winning the race literally at the moment on the road. I mean, he's been caught back up again by Ben Hoffman now. So yeah, something's not right there. Whether it's the car, whether, I don't know, it could have just been a cramp in his leg or something. You know, I'm really clutching at straws here of what it might have been and taking guesses. But, you know, if you cramp your brake foot, your left foot, that's just going to make everything a lot more painful. And look, he's been reeled in something rotten now by Ben Hoffman. So it's an interesting turn in terms of the championship, that's for sure, because we've got Jake Cranstone leading the race, trying to get maximum points out of this race, while Jesper Eriksson obviously got a pole position point. So Jake can't get full from the meeting, but still, if he wins the race while Cam's having a bit of a tough time here, then that's going to be golden for him. We've got another battle between a Williams and a Benetton, but with a McLaren in front of them this time. Jake Cranstone again. Been pretty supreme so far, Ed. Once he got through to the front in the opening stages, he's just led the way and done what he needs to do, hasn't he? It's great stuff to watch Jake drive.
Yeah, he's just managing the race nice and cleanly, and it's not all kicking off out here yet, but it is kicking off further back with John Tusting looking up the inside of Toby Ward.
Nice.
Mike Murphy's in the mix as well. You can see that salvage just waiting in the wings should these two come to blows. Front wing damage on the 66. Ooh. Look at that by Mike Murphy. He had a little sniff, didn't he, up the inside, but John Tusting said no thank you and closed the door right in his face. And now has to again just sit back and watch all of the drama unfold. I think though it's going to be difficult to get past Toby Ward because he's so great at defending.
Oh yeah, he's really switched on with it, is Toby. He's a lovely young man as well, very interesting bloke to speak to. He certainly knows his stuff, and he's been racing in real world as well, actually. He's been taking his road car on hill climb events. There was a bit of a hill climb going on there, though, and those hills being the curbs, and that says to me slow down penalty, and unfortunately he has overdone it. There's the commentator's curse. The invoice is in the post, Ed.
Yeah, there we go.
John Roberts still in the points, so too is Rob Lundgren. Both Minardi's in the points at the minute. That's great to see. What's not great to see, though,
benefactors.
Sorry.
Yeah, real benefactors from the two Jordans, I think, having issues.
Yeah, 15th and 16th for the Jordans. Stuart Clark had a much longer pit stop for his repairs earlier as well, actually. It was 43 seconds, and he's still got wing damage now. So after, again, bigging him up through qualifying, Stuart's not having a great day at the office. Still, the race goes on, I'm afraid. That's racing sometimes, and I have to say I'm impressed by Sam Fitzpatrick in this Bohr Prix. I was expecting a bit of a mediocre night from Sam, no disrespect to him, but with how his practice went and how his qualifying went, he really wasn't setting the timing screens alight. But again, he's just one of those drivers that plays the game, isn't he? He knows the situation, he knows when to play his cards, and he's played them brilliantly.
This is exactly what he needs as well, just to build up confidence. He might, like you say, not have had enough practice, but following the quickest drivers out on the circuit and being able to stick with him as he runs a little bit wide there, that could be a slowdown. We've just cursed him, I think, Chaz, talking about how well he's doing. Is he all right?
Yeah, I think
doesn't seem to be slowing down. I think he's fine, thank God. All right, so yeah, just talking back to what we were saying, this is exactly what he needs as a driver, is the confidence to stick with those fast drivers, to learn from their lines and follow them through, and then that gives him the ability and the, I guess, drive to later on in the race know he's got it in him to challenge for the lead. But it'll be tricky because Jake Cranston, we've seen how well he's been able to defend all season long. We've seen how great Jesper Eriksson is at pedaling and trying those moves. So we'll exactly find out how this very exciting top three will all shake out come the end. But what a front three that is as well. Mercedes, the McLaren Mercedes, the Benetton, and then the Williams as well.
It's great
Wonderful
stuff to watch.
shot of them.
We've got the barbershop quartet as well in turn 3. Toby Ward around the outside of Mike Murphy. He's not come in to fix that wing yet, so obviously he doesn't know that there's a problem with it. John Roberts has got a great run on the exit there to go past Mike Murphy. Mike's going to be tearing his hair out here because I think on paper he's the quickest of these 4 drivers, but he's just not able to make the situation work for him to gain the places and get away from them. So we know that
A lot of them
Sauber
are
is good.
boosted sim sport as well.
They
all
are
working together against Mike Murphy.
They are actually, yeah, so they're all going to be communicating. There are a few of them in the Discord at the moment, which is John Roberts, John Tusting. Toby Ward's not in there with them. Actually, John Roberts has got his, everything's deafened and muted there, so he can't hear anyone or speak to anyone, so there's no communication going on, but still, I think just magnetically they all know each other and know how each other race. Mike Murphy wants to try and make the most of it. I have to say, though, once again, that the 3 guys that have come over to this series from Circuit Superstars, from their support for the championship, obviously Nico Minardi in particular, from F1Countdown.com supporting the championship and being the title sponsor. It's just been lovely to see that they've had the performance as well. You know, they've not turned up for a bit of fun to enjoy themselves and then languished at the back of the pack. They've really got in the thick of the fights and really scored some good championship points already with a few rounds left. As down the inside goes Mike Murphy, and it's things like that, just being able to do a tidy manoeuvre like that, that's just awesome to watch. But now Toby Ward's going to have him back, is he? Surely, in the slipstream. This is great, I love it.
Hopefully they'll all calm down and allow them to chase up back to John Tusting. I think they all know the score here, and they're not going to be sending any moves up on Mike Murphy. Just confident in the fact that he'll be able to bring them back into that fight. Yeah, Cam Dancy's really struggling now. 5 seconds the gap between himself and Sam Fitzpatrick. What is going on in that Williams car? And he's not coming to the pits, so
yeah,
I'm struggling to imagine what could be going on here.
Well, like I say, I know it was a very wild guess to mention cramp before, but it was almost like something happened to his brakes, because the car slammed on the brakes all of a sudden mid-corner and went in a straight line. And if he's not been comfortable since then, if it's something inside the rig, I don't know if he's had an issue with his pedal or his leg or whatever, you know, God forbid it's either, but oh no, what was that?
I heard something.
No.
I'm not sure what was going on there. Oh no, Martin Kenyon coming into the pits.
Has he blown an engine again? Has that Peugeot let him down again? It has, hasn't it?
There's no smoke, but on board there's no drive whatsoever.
And it's uphill into these pit boxes. I hope it makes it.
I think he's in one of the early ones, so he should be safe.
Oh, goodness me. So this is the moment. Downshift into the right. Yep. Blows the engine there. And straight into the pits, but he might get an unsafe pit entry for that as well, so he might get a penalty of some sort.
I think he will.
We saw Simon Povey get one.
43 seconds.
Don't remind him. Simon Povey got one in the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge last season as well, and it's very easy to get them there, actually. You mentioned the exit before, Ed, but it's also a circuit where you don't want to mess with the entrance either, is it?
No, it isn't. It's very fierce around the circuit for track limits, which is quite evil, really, because a lot of the runoff areas invite you to push that little bit extra on the exit, especially through the final couple of sectors. So it's tricky for drivers. I think that was the case at Spa-Francorchamps a long time ago as well, where the runoff areas lured you in. You thought you could take more than you could. You actually go there, isn't it, in a week's time, the round at Spa?
Yes.
Which is a time for the Jordans to redeem themselves, I think. The perfect opportunity for them when you consider the performance in the real-life counterpart to this Formula 1 season. Yes. No rain, though, sadly.
No, unfortunately not. It's not going to be an element to shake up the race, but still, it's part of the fun, isn't it? It's part of the fun knowing that we're going to be doing it in the dry, and everyone's going to have such a high amount of performance, and just the quality of the driving in this championship is just going up and up. Every round, not even like every season, because we've only had 2 so far, but still, every round it's getting better and better. We've got some wonderful flying formation. The Jordans would have been hoping this was in the wet at Spa, to be fair, with no one else around them. Pete Harrod going past Ben Chalcraft to now go a little bit further up the order, but 14th and 15th is not how they would have seen their night going, considering that Pete was, 3rd on the grid, and Ben was up there as well, I think, and still, It's a real shame. But that's just how the cookie crumbles for these guys sometimes. They're really pushing, and some of these guys are pushing even harder now, which says to me they're going to be pitting soon, Ed. We're just hit halfway through the race, though. 29 laps here at the Red Bull Ring, as opposed to 25 that we had at Silverstone. Sam Fitzpatrick's dropped away a little bit here, and yeah, this says to me that some pit stops are on their way now, because drivers are starting to make it a little bit more obvious they're pushing.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, the car's getting lighter as well, so the drivers have the confidence just to get really heavy on the accelerator and just to chuck them into the corners like we're seeing from Jake Cranston. He's trying to build a gap, but if it wasn't any other circuit, he probably would have been able to there with that run out of the final circuit, out of the final corner. But just because of the length of the straights around here, it's so tricky for Jake Cranston to leave these cars in his wake, and he's just going to have to sit there and just let them close up to him, know that they aren't likely to make any moves coming into these corners, and just work together to break away from Cam Dance, because they know as soon as Cam Dance gets a sniff of the victory, despite what issues he might be having, he's going to take it, and you know that he's going to be the hardest person to beat out there.
He will be indeed. Now, I hope he's not trying to fuel save or something daft, because it's the sort of thing that Cam might try, is to fuel save till the end, and that's why he's going slowly. But a pit stop is mandatory in this championship, so he will get a colossal smack on the wrist with a sledgehammer if he tries that. Maybe it's the pressure of running qualifying. It's just got to him, and now he can't be bothered. Anyway, Nico Minardi's going well. Another lovely story from this evening. 6th place right now at his home race here in the championship, and I think, to be fair, this would be his highest finish all season, because Nico so far has scored 9 points, 4 in round 2 at Interlagos and 5 last time out at the British Grand Prix. But 5 points would have meant that he finished, what, like 8th? Yeah, 8th place. So 6th place would get him 7, nearly doubling his entire tally, which would be lovely to see. Like I say, another lovely story to come from the championship. Ben Hoffman has had a good season so far. He's 5th in the standings as well as 5th in the race. His highest score so far this season has been, well, he's actually just had 7s and 6s. 7, 6, 6, 7. Didn't score in round 5, and then had a score of 6 last time out. So that would have been, he's always finished 6th or 7th, funnily enough. So he's right on the money now to have his best result of the season. Right up there behind Cam Dance. Could even get 4th place as well. So there's plenty on offer here for these drivers. It looks like Mike Murphy's finally starting to break away from these guys behind and go after John Tusting now. As now John Roberts is ahead of Toby Ward. Great fights going on in the middle of the pack as well there, Ed. I love it. And still Rob Lundgren is in the points for Minardi, and Simon Price is in the points for Tyrrell as well.
Yeah, so is actually John Roberts for Minardi as well. So both Minardis on track to score points. John Roberts up in 9th place. That would be great for them. And where would that put
well, they'd be,
as it stands in the championship?
As it is right now, they'd get more. Well, John would score the same amount that Prost have had all season, but John Tusting 2 places ahead is going for 6 points, which will put them on 10. Minardi, though, with Rob Lundgren there, would get 2 points as well, so they'd be on 6. Tyrrell would get 1 from Simon Price, so Minardi would jump Tyrrell in the team's championship at the moment if they can get both cars finishing where they are, and the whole race finishes as is. So good stuff. But I mean, to be fair, John Tusting up there in 7th in a Prost. What a fantastic drive he's having so far, considering that he's still in recovery from shoulder surgery, not soldier surgery.
Yeah, where they like cut you open and stick an Action Man inside you or something.
Yeah, I was thinking of the film was it Small Soldiers? As Ericsson's gone for the lead here. Cranstone's lost the lead.
There we go, and he's slow out the corner. Is he going to lose out altogether and get himself down into 3rd place? He might do, as you can see the Chrome Williams up the inside.
Something's gone on here.
Out of the corner, Jake Cranston's got it, and something occurred, has it, Charles? Let's have a look and see.
Something went on towards the end of the lap, so Sam Fitzpatrick has overtaken Jesper Eriksson. So we're gonna watch this back, and we'll come back to any dramas that unfolded. Jesper's very close, gets back in front, and then I think Jake had a moment, you know, either that or he's had a slowdown. Oh, he's gone wide there. No, he's going to have a moment at turn 1, isn't he? Sorry, there was a lot of silence there as I was just focusing.
Yeah.
Is he going to have a drama?
We were waiting for him to slow down.
Oh, this will be the slowdown now. He'll serve it now, won't he?
Might do.
No, this is a lap ago.
He peels over to the right-hand side of the circuit. Is that a lap ago?
Yeah, this is a lap ago by the look of it.
Oh, so here we go. We caught just the tail end of the overtake there, so
let me see
if I can... Jesper Eriksson get up into the lead of the race.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's a slowdown.
Slow down on the exit. He's been able to serve it in time though, that's the key thing. Fingers crossed, because otherwise we'd be deprived of a great battle out front.
Nico!
Oh my word!
Oh no!
Oh no, Nico! He was just a little bit too punchy up the inside, and when you go 3 wide at this stage of the race, where drivers are pushing that a little bit harder, less likely to back out as they are on the opening lap, just going to end in tears. But this is slowing down Cam Dance massively. The gap now 7 seconds.
I think there was an instance of Ben turning in there, but I'm not sure. But Nico obviously didn't expect both of them to break that early. Went down the inside.
Oh, Nico was just too much speed into the corner. I think was going to be running wide.
I mean, he's still in 6th place, which is good. He's got 13 seconds over John Tusting. There's contact, and is that Cam Dance around? No. But Cam's definitely been affected by something here. It's really going to pot this lap for Ben Hoffman, and that front wing is destroyed. The two of them will certainly be pitting now, but yeah, Cam Dance
has got rear end damage potentially. You can see that splitter's not in a good shape, and the car's a little bit twitchier. Ben Hoffman's going to try and take advantage of that before they come into the pits.
Hopefully not.
You can imagine, I think that's both of them will be doing that right now.
I was going to say, hopefully neither of them driving angry, though, knowing that this is going on. Jake Cranstone's come into the pits from the race lead with 10 laps to go here at the Red Bull Ring. Let's see what they're like on their way into the pits. Cam Dance nearly overdoes it. Ben Hoffman chasing him down. They need to be so careful they don't check up into each other here. Nico Minardi's coming in the pits as well. Ben, hits the back of Cam on the way in again, just following too closely. We've seen a few drivers do it this season, though, Ed, that they sort of, it's not like...
I hope that didn't... I've seen it before, Chaz. I don't want to cut across you, but I hope that doesn't give Cam Dance a speeding penalty, because I've seen it happen before. Where there's been a bit of a hit in the pit lane, gives the car ahead a bit extra push, a bit extra speed, and it slaps him with a penalty. So sorry to cut across you there, but I just wanted to say, in case that was the case.
Well, let's see how long they're in the pits.
Seems to be fine.
Yeah, they get going at the same time, which is good. But yeah, we've seen a few drivers, I was going to say, just, I don't know, they just haven't kept their head as much when it comes to just compromising how early they brake for other people around them. They've just been braking where they expect to brake normally, as if the traffic's not in front of them. And with how clever these drivers have been all season, and you know how closely they're used to racing, it just seems very out of character. It's just really strange when we see it. So apologies if any of the comments seem harsh, but it was just a little bit unnecessary. And Ben Hoffman gets away with it, I'd say. So too does Cam Dance. Right now, these are our two leaders, Jesper Eriksson and Sam Fitzpatrick. Jake Cranstone has pitted. We'll show you the pit stops on the left-hand side of your screen so you know who's out of sync and who's not. Well, it's only these two, really. Everyone else has pitted now. Simon Price and Stuart Clark coming in as well. So, not sure whether Stuart's had some more damage or something, or he didn't know that he could go to the end because he's pitted before lap 10 with damage. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Hopefully it's... Well, he's sat in the pits again. He does have damage. And I think he's taking a mandatory stop here, Ed. So I don't think, unfortunately for Stuart, he knows that if you pit before lap 10 because of mandatory damage or a meatball flag, that you don't have to come back in again.
Yeah, unfortunately, that might be the case.
The Jordans are amongst it now.
The drive up through the field for the Jordans. Yep, back into the points for Ben Chalcroft. And actually for Pete Harrod as well, because they've both taken their mandatory pit stops. They don't need to come in against. They're well and truly in this fight for points. They're just ahead of Toby Ward and just closing in on Mike Murphy. And surprised to see Mike Murphy didn't have the best qualifying, but so far out 5 positions in 10th place. It's a good race so far for the Sauber driver, who's had some great results all season long. Let's not forget, Chaz. I think Mike Murphy, was it in the first round of the championship where he managed to get a podium?
It was, yeah, on his debut. We've got Michael Jones here not really letting Ben Chalcroft through until it's a little bit too late there for Ben to go down the inside and have a sensible run through the corner. But Michael was a bit slow on the exit of the final corner there and scared the life out of him. The battle at the front, though, is still going on because these two haven't pitted. They come in now as Jesper Eriksson. Oh, he's close to that white line.
They've been practicing that, I think. You can just see by the speed that was taken through there and the run through pit entry. Sam Fitzpatrick has been practicing that because he's built up a bit more of an advantage over Sam Fitzpatrick. Look, though, for the number 3 car on the track map, that is Jake Cranston, who was once race leader, now pushing hard through the final couple of corners. While he is heavily laden with fuel, not had the same lightness in the car, he's been pushing hard in clear air. We know he's quick. And actually, is there a jump through there? It's going to be a battle on the pit lane. They're going to be going side by side through a narrow pit lane and just conceded there by Sam Fitzpatrick. But now Jake Cranston, he's going to try and blitz by both of them. It's going to be close, potentially in towards turn 3. But here we go. Game on yet again for the lead. It's just as close as it ever was.
Fantastic. It's like just a complete reset button that hasn't changed anything at all. It's still a corrupt file between these three, but it's Jesper Eriksson now ahead of Jake Cranstone, ahead of Sam Fitzpatrick. Cam Dance is 9.4 seconds back, and he's still got Ben Hoffman for company. Nico Minardi has been sat in the pits since he had his issue and is not even in the car. That is a massive, massive shame for Nico. I'm not quite sure what's gone on there, whether the car hasn't had its fast repair or what, but there's some major issue for him there. That is not what you want to see, and Nico was having such a good home race. I don't think he had a sort of intention of going for that gap, you know. The two drivers around him broke so early to sort of say, no, after you, old chap, through the first corner, that he just found himself in the middle, and then I don't know, it just didn't turn in as much as he would have wanted, and Ben obviously tried to leave a car's width on the inside but not throw himself off the road, and it just all concertinaed into that contact as, Toby Ward has got the car crabbing completely here. What on earth is that?
Yeah, when did he pick up that damage? I would have thought he would have been in the pits for that.
Oh, he's already got it there. Look at that. This is Rob Lundgren going past.
Severe. I'm surprised he didn't bring it in.
Yeah, he's already got it there as well, so not sure what on earth has caused that. Has Ben Chalcraft gone past him? Oh, has he hit the pit wall?
Oh no.
That's it.
He has no.
Oh, well, we did say that drivers were going to push it too hard and hit that barrier, didn't we? And they've done a coulthard.
They have, haven't they? It's really unfortunate. Just pushing a little bit too hard. The drivers chasing every single tenth of a second they can get, both out on circuit and in the pit lane. And sadly, it's just been a little bit too much for Toby Ward in the Stuart Ford, sadly. I think actually, did we see that in the... No, we didn't actually, did we? I was trying to think now. It was not the Stuart Ford, it was the Tyrrell Ford of Simon Price that had that issue in the opening sort of practice session, wasn't it, of the session when we were watching through all the qualifying results.
Yes.
But again, it's just been catching the drivers out, and it's such a tricky circuit, both out on circuit, but also on the pit lane. It's a bit of a nightmare, really, but it's just the nature of the beast, really.
Pete Harrod, speaking of nature of the beast, he's back up into 6th place, and despite the issues he's had, he's well on for some good points here. It's a great recovery to get 7 points out of this race if he finishes there. We've still got 5 laps to go yet, but John Roberts, he's gained 7 places from 14th on the grid for Minardi. He and John Tusting are both going to do a great job for their respective teams if they can keep it on the island here, because 6 points straight to Minardi, with Rob Lundgren on to score 2 as well. If he finishes in 11th place, that'll be a dream result and a great drive through to John Roberts. And again, it's going to just prove Ed wrong, the fact that he said earlier that he's going to be hoping for Rob Lundgren to be the point scorer tonight. Sorry to bring that up, Ed, but I just thought it'd be funny for their sake as well.
He'll love bringing it up to me, John. He will absolutely relish it, prove me wrong. But you did say something, Chaz, that just completely flashbanged me, and it was the fact that there's only 5 laps to go in the race. Where has the time gone?
No.
Shows how much I've been paying attention to. I thought we had at least another 10 to go.
Yeah.
Where has all that gone?
Exactly, 5 laps to go after this one then here at the Austrian Grand Prix on CDM, or Chaz Drake Media. It's the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com, sponsored by Abruzzi Racewear and Sim Racing Magazine. We've also got support from the wonderful Morgan Butler Simtography and, of course, Gilles Gardner as well, and his fantastic Simtography that gets us some great pictures of the championship that get shared amongst the Discord. We've not been sharing them as much on social media this season. I do apologise for that. There's been a lot more traffic on the social media and all sorts that have been killing the algorithm, and it's been killing me in return as well. Still, top 3 together, all separated by just over a second right now here at the Red Bull Ring, and it's Jesper Eriksson for Benetton leading Jake Cranstone and Sam Fitzpatrick. Jesper Eriksson has had a podium finish at the British Grand Prix last time out. On his debut in France, he was on pole and leading pretty much the whole race until he and Jake came together in the final couple of laps. And he's on the brink of a win here in Austria, but I tell you, Jake's going to be pushing him for everything that he's got, because he needs any positions that he can to get away from Cam Dance.
Yeah, exactly. Cam Dance still scoring decent points here tonight in 4th place, so it isn't a championship necessarily blown wide open again, but it gives just a little chance It's a little bit of doubt in Cam Dance's mind that it isn't as comfortable as he thinks it was coming into this sort of final stretch of the season. Now look at this, John Tusting. Oh, I thought for a moment he was going to have a little dive up the inside of John Roberts, but thought better of it. Look at the times of Jesper Eriksson and Jake Cranston trading purple sectors all across the board, so they're pushing really hard in these final few minutes of the race. I'm just so excited just to see what's going to happen between the pair of them. We saw, didn't we, it come to blows at the French Grand Prix. Now here in Austria, is Jesper Eriksson once again going to be denied a victory by the Brit of Jake Cranston, or will it be his first of the season? He's been right up there in every single race that he's taken part in, like you mentioned, battling away with the very best that the Formula One World Championship has to offer. But has he got that final edge to take it to the end? And look at that dive at the inside, a little lockup. Oh, that was close to contact yet again between the pair of them. And now, is that going to see Jake Cranston lose out? Yes, it is. Sam Fitzpatrick says thank you very much and slots himself up into second place, up 7 positions. Sam Fitzpatrick from the start of the race.
Yeah, he had a lot of places gained at the British Grand Prix as well and did a great job there. So Sam's going to be really happy with this one. We saw a very dramatic send by Sam at the end of the race. He said that he felt like it was one of his real chances to win a race and it just let him go, but still he got a great podium out of it. He's been on the podium so far this season twice as Sam Fitzpatrick. He scored said podium finishes in the... Oh, excuse me, sorry for a moment. He got 2 second places in a row in rounds 4 and 5 of the season, which of course were the 2 rounds at Montreal and then Manicourt. And since then he's not been on the podium. So Sam Fitzpatrick now hoping to not just be on the podium, but be on the top step as well, because I mean, I wouldn't argue against him winning a race this season, Ed. He's put in some incredible drives, and once again he's proving to us here just why he is not one to be messed with in this championship. He may be a lovely lad and a bit quiet, but still he's very fierce and very fast on the racetrack.
I'm sure everyone will want to throttle me for saying this, because I'm pretty certain if I was him it'd still sting, but I think that Spain was probably one of his best chances to win all season long before he got collided with, involving obviously an incident with his teammate onto the brakes in towards turn 1, rear-ended. That would have been, I think, his probably best shot at winning, but here tonight he's still got that chance, hasn't he? Up in second place with only a few more laps remaining. If there's any time to win your race, why not here tonight?
Martin Kenyon there just having a bit of a moment. He's down in 15th place after having a fantastic race of his own earlier on. Martin unfortunately dropping a lot of places after blowing his engine before coming into the pits. Toby Ward's having a bit of a moment here and he's in front of these guys. Oh, he needed to get out of the way a lot sooner, but I'm not sure he would have known that they were coming that quickly, and that's blown the gap wide open. It's 0.8 of a second now. I was going to say Jake Cranston needs to work with Sam Fitzpatrick. That could have very well won Jesper Eriksson the race now, because that big gap is getting bigger. We've got more battles going on here as well. John Tusting still with Mike Murphy. Mike's going to be tearing his hair out of this. That lid's going to be green. Well, it's already green, sorry. I was going to say it's going to be red by the end of the night. That lid of Mike Murphy. He and John Roberts have gained 7 places each and come through this field together very well. And still, they've got 2 more laps to go. After this, have they not? Yes, they've just gone on to lap 28 now, have the leaders. Lap 28 out of 29. Pete Harrod is 19 seconds off Ben Hoffman in 6th place, so he's got nothing to worry about. Ben Hoffman is... Wait, what? Oh yeah, Ben Hoffman's about a second off Cam Dance. Cam seems to have found some pace all of a sudden. Jesper Eriksson found the grass. What does Jake Cranston do here? Oh my goodness me, sorry, I was just reading up and down there, Ed. What does Jake Cranston do now? Does he push? Does he go for a move? Because I'm not sure they're going to catch Jesper.
Leave it to the last lap. I wouldn't press so hard. I'd lift off here just to let... never mind. Here we go. He's going to go for it. Why not? I was just going to leave it to the last lap. See if there's any way that Sam can close up to Jesper Eriksson.
Oh, Jake, you don't need to do it.
He's going for it. Why not? This is why we love Jake. When he battles hard, he does it fairly. And he does it in the most spectacular of fashions. But now I think he's going to wait again until the final lap, but that all but secures... No, he doesn't actually, because the gap's come down a little bit between himself, Sam Fitzpatrick and Jesper Eriksson. I do think, though, you are right, that it was Toby Ward stricken, trying to guide it home till the end. You love to see drivers persevering, nursing cars home, even if they're not going to be scoring points. It's the attitude towards the championship that they want to bring it across the line that you love to see. But with that damage, I think that might have sadly had a bit of an adverse effect on the race result for this top three.
Cam Dance did his best lap of the race last time round, by the way, and I think he might have just gone even quicker as well. He's not, but he's nearly matched it, and he's now 3 seconds ahead of Ben Hoffman, so Cam's found some pace out of nowhere and suddenly started going quicker and quicker. He's only about a tenth or so off this lot. Jake Cranstone is now surely going to go for it, though, because in these final moments of the race, he cannot afford to be finishing just 1 place ahead of Cam Dance. He has a big kick of oversteer on the exit. Yeah, I thought it was going on the curb then as well. But no, he's just held on to it. Sam Fitzpatrick's certainly pushing, but Jesper Eriksson's looking comfy in the lead here. It's only 6/10 of a second, but he doesn't need to push as hard as he was before. The slipstreams aren't going to affect him too much into these last moments. Sam Fitzpatrick's not had a good run through there. The gap's suddenly gone back up to 8.5 tenths. And now Jake Cranstone's back on the scene. He's going to throw it down the inside. Is Jake. He's going to go for a move. Sam says, not on your life. He says, I know you don't mean it, mate. Watch this. Sam goes around him. He's going to keep it nice and clean. But Jesper Eriksson, well, he came into the championship at the French Grand Prix. He was incredibly impressive there. Put it on pole position the first time round for Benetton Playlife. And since then, he's been a real star of the series, right up at the front of the order. His points have not completely reflected his championship so far. Sam Fitzpatrick's going to do everything he can to hold on ahead of Jake Cranstone, and he's going to do it. But round the final corner to win the Austrian Grand Prix for Benetton is Jesper Eriksson. What a drive that was, sunshine. Sam Fitzpatrick second, another second place for him. Jake Cranstone finishes third and rounds out the podium. Great return to the series for Jake, very entertaining as ever. Cam Dance takes 4th place home for Benetton. Sorry, for Williams, apologies. It's Benetton for Ben Hoffman. He's done a great job there. And what about this lot, Ed? Round the final couple of corners they go. Is anyone going to do it? Who's blown an engine?
I have no idea, but what I do know is that John Tusting is going to defend like his life depends on it from the charging Mike Murphy up the inside in towards the second to last corner. And I think he's just been able to hang on. And look at this. John Roberts for Minardi Ford, 9th place, scoring really good points and getting them on the board finally this season. Brilliant drive there from all of them involved in that battle. They all gained positions from the start of the race. John Tusting up 4, Mike Murphy up 7, and John Roberts up 5.
Ben Chalcraft gets a top 10 as well, and Rob Lundgren gets his first points of the season for Minardi as well. Simon Price is going to get some for Tyrrell too. So fantastic stuff, but you have to say you've got to be over the moon for Minardi. John Roberts and Rob Lundgren get their first points of the campaign. John was running in 7th for most of that, eventually finishes 9th, but that's still 4 points. And Rob Lundgren's 11th place will get them 2, and that will certainly see them ahead of Tyrrell Ford in the team's championship. But wow, what an amazing race once again in the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. I tell you what, it's not going to change, is it, Ed? It's never, ever going to get more chill, this championship. It's great fun.
What a heck of a race that was. That was great battling up at the front. That trio of Jesper Eriksson, Sam Fitzpatrick and Jake Cranston giving us entertainment all the way through. And as well, that midfield tussle with the only Johns, Mike Murphy involved as well. So for a moment there, Ben Chalcraft was trying to close into it at the end, but just didn't have enough time in the race to get there. But still, that was a great battle that we were treated to all throughout the field. Some excellent drives as well. I mean, Sam Fitzpatrick up 7 places to get second. And also, Jesper Eriksson coming back from a terrible start to win the race. Amazing stories all around.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really entertaining night once again in the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. And here is your race result. Jesper Eriksson becomes another driver on the roster to take a race victory in the championship. Very well done to him. What a great star he's been to have in the series. Sam Fitzpatrick gets another great second place. That's his 3rd time on the podium. He's not actually finished a race in 3rd this season, has Sam. He's always finished in 2nd place, always the bridesmaid. Jake Cranstone finishes in 3rd, and look at that, a big gap back to Cam Dance. It's not often you don't see Cam in the lead group, is it? 13.3 seconds back. He opened up a big gap over Ben Hoffman at the end, but something clearly not right there from Cam. Hopefully we'll get to chat to him and find out, or he'll post something in the Discord and let us know. Ben Hoffman finished in 5th place, a great top 5 for him in the Benetton, more solid points. Pete Harrod, what a great recovery drive that is into 6th place after 2 spins as well. John Tusting finishes in 7th place, gets some very strong points for Prost. And Mike Murphy, well, he's going to want to murder John after that race because he just could not get past him, could not get away from him. Great fun, though. I know Mike will have enjoyed that, especially with the fact that he was fighting so closely all the way through and still got to the end of the race and still managed to enjoy himself, I'm sure, because he's obviously got points on the board tonight and that's what it's all about. Speaking of points on the board, John Roberts, great stuff for Minardi, finishing inside the top 10 with Ben Chalcraft getting the top 10. A great recovery drive from him once again. Rob Lundgren also getting his first points of the championship. Simon Price getting another one to add to his tally as well. Stuart Clark unfortunately just missing out after big damage earlier. Martin Kenyon, Toby Ward and Michael Jones were one lap down, and it's such a shame to see that Nico Minardi, the home hero here at the Red Bull Ring, was not able to convert that after the contact down at turn 1. I don't know what to say now, Ed. I'm shattered.
No, it's exhausting. I dread to imagine what the drivers are feeling like after that, especially with the heat that we've had here. A lot of the drivers in the UK, I've been absolutely roasting here today. But still, what a way to enjoy the sunny evening, but with brilliant racing here in Austria. We've got a few drivers, I think, lining up to have a quick word with us, Chaz.
Yes, we do. And the first of them that we're going to have a chat with is the wonderful Jesper Eriksson, our race winner. Jesper, very well done, mate. Fantastic victory. It didn't start as well as you would have wanted to, but sure, that's all in the past now. What a great victory. Well done.
Oh, thank you so much. Man, that start was rubbish. I just heard the engine rev up, and then I saw in the mirror that I just had one black stripe behind me. I was like, are you serious? Like, that? One wheel off the line is just kind of... Yeah, and then I had contact in turn 1, which kind of made me a bit worried about the front wing. But I don't think I had damage in the end, but what a fun race this is. I love this track so much, and these guys and these cars are just so fun to race against. Man.
I've got a huge smile on my face, Jesper. I can feel the happiness radiating from you because it was one of the best races of the season because it's got a lot of slipstreaming opportunities on it, this circuit. You cannot get away anywhere at all around here, and even in the windy bits, it's very, very tricky, isn't it, on this circuit? It doesn't look it on paper, but it is, isn't it?
Oh, it's hard. It's super hard. If you make a mistake and lose 8/10, it's just 2 laps and you're right behind the guy again. So, like, you can't defend from the slipstream. You gotta, like, just accept it and just drive on. But, oh well, I don't know how I managed to. Like, I saw in the mirror that they were attacking each other, so I was just trying to give each other the slipstream. Like, now Sam gets some and now Jake gets some, and it worked. They started fighting, and oh man, I don't know what to say.
Well, it's just fantastic to watch, Jesper, and like we said after Silverstone, you know, you're really embodying the enjoyment of the championship, and we absolutely love to see it. You've been a fantastic addition to the series, and we knew it wasn't going to be long before you got that first win for Benetton. But what does that mean for you now going to the final couple of rounds of the season? Because we've got some great tracks coming up in the form of Spa-Francorchamps, Monza and Suzuka. Are you excited to try and get more wins there and get right up in the championship standings?
Yes, of course, that's the goal. I saw that I'm maybe like 11th now in championship after the last race, and then I saw like top 5 possible, and finally getting a win. It's been such a long time since I actually like won something that means something to me, and it's such a feeling. I enjoy it. It's an addiction. I want to win more now.
Well, we absolutely love it as well, Jesper. You're a very deserving winner, and you're lovely to speak to on these interviews, mate. So thank you very much for jumping in, and we'll let you go and enjoy your evening and celebrate. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, though, before you go?
The biggest shout out to my best friend Lucas for being my crew chief and just doing the fuel numbers and just talking me through the race and making me calm. That means a lot, and man, I couldn't have won this race without him, because he's quite good with strategy and had some ideas which I definitely had not. So without him, I would not be able to win this race. A big thank you to him, and of course you guys and all of the guys in the series for just making this race so much fun to do.
Well, thank you once again, Jesper. Great to speak to you, mate. Well done. Have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you again very soon.
Yes, we will. Have a good one, guys.
Cheers. What a fantastic bloke, Ed. I've got
a
massive smile on my face every time we speak to Jesper. He's just awesome, isn't he? What a great drive, though, that was.
It's so great as well when you're sort of a commentator or a broadcaster or an organizer to feel the same love that the drivers have for the series that you do yourself. And we get that in spades from Jesper. Just hearing him wax lyrical about how much he enjoys racing the car, how much he enjoyed battling with all the drivers as well. It was brilliant. And I absolutely take my hat off to him because that was an amazing drive to come back from what was, by his own admission, a very poor start.
Yeah, it was certainly not the best getaway from the line, but he made it work in the end, and that's what it's all about, is making it work. Another driver that made it work tonight and got championship points on the board for Tyrrell was Simon Price. Simon, welcome to the box, my friend. You must be pretty chuffed after that one, because it didn't look easy out there at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, it wasn't for want of trying, Chess. Yeah, I like this circuit, and I've done lots of laps on it, and it's one I'll enjoy, and I thought I'd done quite well in the practice and quali, and then I just did what I normally do and just threw it into the dirt. So,
well, it's too easy to do in this car, though, isn't it? It's a little pig sometimes because of the way that it just goes one way then the other and so slowly rotates. It's got a really lazy spin around it, hasn't it?
Yeah, and if you're even slightly offline, that just comes into play a lot more. So I think that's what it was. I saw a couple of people spin out behind me. I was too busy looking at my mirrors, just ran a bit wide, and then I was around. But just got my head down, pushed, and now I've kind of done what I wanted to do for the season, which is equal Tyrrell's points for that actual season.
Fantastic. I didn't even realise that was the goal, but I love that. That's what's fun, I suppose, isn't it? Because we do replicate-ish a real world championship. There's always things to look at like that and compare, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I had 3 goals maybe to finish races, so I got that one to score at least as many points as they did in the season, and not make a complete pee of myself. So 2 out of 3, not bad.
Absolutely, Simon. Well, it was great fun to watch once again. Like I say, another very entertaining Ball Prix, and lovely to see you get some points for Tyrrell. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick thanks to while we've got you on the stream? All the lads, obviously, they're doing a great job out there, and luckily this time I didn't have any noticeable tiff-ins with everyone, so everyone's doing a fantastic job of it, and obviously, as ever, you guys for the broadcast. It looks fantastic at the minute, and it's a real joy to be part of. Well, we certainly love having you, mate, and very well done again for the championship point, and we look forward to seeing you next time round at Spa-Francorchamps.
Magic.
He's doing a great job this season, isn't he, Ed? Simon Price doing all he can do for Tyrrell, and he's even gone to the point of every time he has a race, he mentions what Ken Tyrrell says in the debrief, and having Ken Tyrrell as his profile picture and all of it. He's really embracing it, but that's the sort of fun and banter that we love in this series, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been great to have drivers like Simon Price as part of the series, because you can, again, like what we were saying about Jesper, they care so much about it, and they're not necessarily about the results they have, but with the racing and where they can just battle away, and the points really don't matter to them. It's just about being involved. I'm sure the points will matter, though, to Simon Price getting some more on the board for Tyrrell. That could be all important come the end of the season, especially when we're expecting a few more drivers to be turning up in the next round at Spa.
Absolutely, and another driver that's continuing to turn up week after week and really get some strong points on the board is Sam Fitzpatrick. I'll leave you in the capable hands, though, Sam, of our wonderful Ed May. Take it away, brother.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chaz. And we got Sam Fitzpatrick in the box with us after an excellent battle, gaining 7 positions to finish in 2nd place. Just talk us through your race, mate, because it looked for a moment that you were just able to get the race victory. You were closing in, then all of a sudden Jake Cranston said no, and you were thrown into a battle.
Yeah. I mean, that was a pretty intense race, particularly at the start and near the end. I was an idiot and didn't do enough practice, and so my qualifying lap was really the pace that I had at that point, and then really worked hard in the 10-minute warm-up to get some more pace, which works. Lap 1, there were just lots of incidents. I didn't particularly drive lap 1 particularly well, but just got to the inside whenever I could, and fortunately there was a few incidents. And then, I was just pleasantly surprised, honestly, that I could catch the 2 leaders. I think maybe they were fuel saving a bit, and that held me back in. And then, the last few laps, I did a little bit of fuel saving in that last stint, even though in hindsight probably could have got away with it. And then, I mean, honestly, it was just too good. today, honestly, from Jesper. He was absolutely the fastest driver, I think, up there, and I mean, a very, very well-deserved victory it's been coming from.
Yeah, but obviously for the teams championship, you've got some good points on the board for Williams Mecha Chrome, and is that something that's in the forefront of your mind now? Just the championship picture as we go forward into the final 3 rounds.
The thing at the forefront of my mind is winning a race, because that's not 3 second places, and along with Barcelona, where I think I was running second until an instant, and so it's gotta happen at some point. But I just need to buckle down properly. I mean, I didn't feel as confident today as I did at Silverstone. Silverstone felt real good, and I only finished 4th, whereas here didn't feel as confident but finished 2nd. But I think in the teams, I mean, I got Cam as a teammate. I mean, I don't need to turn up. Like, he's got that one covered. So that one's very much him. I'll take the split of the imaginary prize money, and we'll go at it. But I don't need to worry about that too much, honestly. When I've got.
So you don't worry about Cam. So if it comes down to it, you and Cam first and second, you're going to be the one trying to take the race lead.
Oh yeah. I don't think either of us mind too much about we'll race each other as we race everyone else. I think we're both fairly reliable drivers. I think, although I heard that Cam's brake pedal broke today, so maybe not. But on the most part, I think we are usually pretty reliable. So I think if we're first and second, we'll absolutely race hammer and tongs, and for the race win.
Yeah, fingers crossed, no repeats of Spain. But we've got 3 rounds to go. Spa, Monza and Suzuka in that order. Which one do you think is your best shot of getting that race victory?
Well, Suzuka, as we all know, is the best circuit in the world, and that's not even a question, because it just is. It's the perfect race circuit. You can't possibly improve it, and so that one I'm looking forward to most. Monza will be weird, and Spa, because today was slipstreaming. Like, I was lifting and coasting 100 meters before every braking point. I was like lifting for like the entire penultimate corner. I mean, it was absolutely insane. So those 2 circuits are going to be ridiculous when it comes to the fuel saving. It's going to be a lottery in terms of who wins. Suzuka, pretty much the same as well, honestly. So I don't think anyone's got more than like a 30% chance at winning each of those races. I think there's going to be 7 or 8 guys who are going to be fighting for them.
Yep, and then Cam Dancer win all 3. That's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes, yeah. I mean, honestly, I was 2 laps away from the end there. I was thinking, Cam's probably going to win this, isn't he? Ah, man. Because they're probably just going to all take each other out, and Cam was going to do what he does. So, that's what he does.
That's what he does. He's got that reputation, not just from us as commentators, but also for all the drivers as well. But great to hear that you're still going to be fighting all the way till the very end and racing with anybody, regardless if they're your teammate or not. And fingers crossed you can get that first race victory over the line in at least one of the last 3 rounds. But no worries, mate. Thank you for dropping in and having a word with us. Before we say goodbye to you, though, anybody you'd like to shout out on the broadcast?
Well, thanks once again to the Apex Racing Sim Center. I'm using another rig. I think I've done like 6 rounds this season. I think I've used 5 different rigs. So I think that's a record. That's the championship that I care about personally. And thanks.
Have you got a favourite rig?
Well, what rig is this one? This is number 15, so this one's alright, seeing that I got my joint best result. So yeah, number 15 is all good. Not Lewis Ward's rig though. Lewis Ward's rig is rubbish, as he will testify himself. Thanks to Apex, and thanks to Cam for being in the Discord. Thanks to all the Orbit Motorsport guys for making this series fun. Thanks to the drivers, and thanks to you guys. And apologies for not doing the end lap at the end there. So
don't you
yes,
worry.
I will do it next time.
Charles will make sure of that. He'll be waiting outside the Apex Sim Center next time you fail.
Well, maybe that's the way that I win a race finally, is that everyone else gets disqualified for not doing their outlets, or maybe I just bin them all on the in lap, and
we'll
then
see.
They can't get back.
We'll see in a week's time what nefarious schemes you'll concoct to win your first race victory. But
I will do it. I really want to win, so I will do it.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that, mate. But thank you very much for joining us, and best of luck for the final 3.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
There's Sam basically what's the phrase? That's, well, I can't think of what the phrase is now. incriminating himself before he's even done anything, to be honest. But still, another fantastically entertaining race, Ed, and wonderful battles all the way through the order. A massive shame for Nico Minardi in particular at his home race, but still, I think that race had a bit of everything. Great battles up and down the order, a battle for the lead, some pit stop strategies that people tried as well, accidents, drama, you name it. We've got it once again in the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com.
Yeah, and if that was what we saw at the Red Bull Ring, what are we going to see in a week's time at Spa? It's when the championship is really starting to heat up, isn't it? It's just race after race every single week now until the end at Suzuka. And I honestly cannot wait. I'm so looking forward to seeing them go at Belgium. It's like changing the format though, isn't it, Chaz? Because obviously instead of it being after 10 laps when the drivers can make their pit stops, I think, is it after 6 or 8?
We're going for 8 this season. It would have been 6 last time with the shorter races, but yes, this time they have to pit after the 8th lap of the race, and the drivers will be reminded of that, but it's certainly going to be an absolute corker. 18 laps at Spa-Francorchamps. It's certainly going to feel like a lot more than that for the drivers with all the slipstream that's going to go on. But that is unfortunately all we've got time for here tonight on Chaz Draycott Media with the Chaz Draycott Media Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com, sponsored also by Abruzzi Racewear and Sim Racing Magazine. Thanks also to Morgan Butler and Jill Gardner for their wonderful Simtography support. Thanks to everybody that's been watching. Thank you also to the wonderful Ed May for commentating as well. It's great fun to work with you. And thanks to all of our drivers for being such fantastic individuals and putting on such a great show as well. But like I say, that's all we've got time for tonight. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. And we'll see you in a week's time in Belgium. Have a good one. Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The 3 wide again. Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across. They're both in front of Milan and
But
Pouget.
before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy. You know, these are 5-ton machines, 1,200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and it's ready to go out. Dan Gregory now, I love it. 18.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.